All right, everybody, it's time for another episode of Craft and Chaos. Dario, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Ryan?
Good. Thanks for joining the show. Uh, Appreciate you stepping in for Torsten. You are a fabulous co-host, so thanks for doing that. Welcome to everybody who's joining us live. We have a lot of fun stuff to cover, but first of all, would love to hear from everybody that is watching or listening. Let us know where you're calling in from. Just shout out your city or your country or your boat or wherever wherever you're at. We'll call out some friends who are joining the show. We've got a bunch of cool stuff to go over today. Especially want to remind you to join Build Crew. So everyone who's watching the show is building with agents. They're coding all the time. I know I'm often up till like 2 a.m. using AMP. And I'm sure you all out there doing the same using your agent of choice. So we decided to build a community called Build Crew. So just head to buildcrew.team. It's totally free. You can use any agent you like. You don't have to be using AMP. And it's just a great community where you can ask questions, get support, get encouragement, show what you're working on. So head there and apply. And if you get accepted, then we also give you $100 in AMP credit. So make sure to check it out. We have over 1,500 people in the community now. And it's getting pretty lively, which is great. We've got friends calling in from all around the world already. We've got folks from Truckee in Tahoe, which is really nice. Mike, good to see you. Engineer Wannabe is from Chile. Appreciate you calling in. If you're watching live, tell us where you are calling in from. Dario, where are you joining us from?
Still from Tallinn, Estonia.
Hey, love it. Awesome. I've got more folks. Madi says they're calling in from Earth, which is good. we don't have any interplanetary guests yet. And Goku's calling in from India, which is awesome. Keith is joining us from Singapore, and it's 1 a.m. there. So Keith, we appreciate you tuning in. We are going to make it worth your while, but I assume you're going to be coding while you watch. So that's the assumption. We've got a big giveaway today. So every week we give away $500 in AMP credit. And the way you win that is you have to listen for the secret word. So the secret word today is waffle. So I love waffles. Dario, do you love waffles?
Sometimes.
why not all the time?
It's not good for you.
This is true. That doesn't seem to bother me.
I do like waffle towels, however.
Waffle towels are nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they dry super quickly.
That's not the kind of waffle I'm talking about. So today I'm going to say waffle at some point during the show. So you have to be listening. And when you hear that word, you have 60 seconds to go to the URL that's going to be on the screen, and you have to enter in the word waffle. So you got to be listening because you have to do that within 60 seconds. And then we're going to choose one person that enters the word correctly. And we'll then award $500 in AMP credit. So listen for that secret word, waffle. You never know what's going to happen. While I've been talking about waffles and waffling, we've got more friends joining. Aries the Coder is joining from Sydney. It's 4 a.m. there. So either Aries, you stayed up all night or you just woke up really early. JC Coder is joining from Nigeria. Awesome. Abraham is also from Nigeria. So we've got a lot of friends joining from around the world. Once again, if you're listening, tell us where you're calling in from. It's fun to see where you all are calling. I'm calling in from beautiful Connecticut, and it's sunny here, which is nice, and snowy. Okay, so talked a little bit about Build Crew, talked about the secret word, waffle. Now I'm going to chat about what we're going to cover. We've got a lot of exciting sessions. We've got Code the Impossible, where Dario is going to code live, and we'll see how it goes. He's going to add a feature to an app. And we just thought it'd be fun for you to see, how do people use agents in the real world? What happens? What goes wrong? We're going to do prompt duel at dawn, where we battle two prompts against each other and see which one performs better on the same task. We're going to do another section called Probably Find a Show, where we reveal a new feature that we're working on. And we're also going to cover some news. So we got a lot happening in the show today. So let us know where you're calling in from. Pop it in the comments. We'll call it out. And we are going to get started with the news. So let's do it. This is news we definitely verified. So it's important you pay attention. um, the first up is that OpenAI released GPT 5.2. They're calling it the professional agentic model, which is interesting. I think that's up for debate. But so if you're listening to us, tell us if you're using GPT 5.2 yet, what you're using it for, what you like it for, what you don't. Here's what happened. So on December 11th, OpenAI released GPT 5.2, a model explicitly marketed as the quote, world's most advanced for professional work, end quote, signaling a major shift from chat based interactions to autonomous agentic workflows. And here's why we think it matters. For devs like all of us, this is definitely a code red update that you've been waiting for. I think OpenAI is kind of paddling very fast underneath the water to catch up with Opus 4 or 5 here. The new model introduces a thinking tier designed for long horizon tasks, achieving a record breaking 55.6 on the SWE-bench Pro benchmark for software engineering, which is definitely a huge leap from previous generations. It's got a 256K context window. It's optimized for structural understanding of large code bases, and most importantly, it's tuned for autonomy. Reports suggest it can operate as an agent for extended periods to execute complex, multi-step refactoring or architectural tasks with reduced error rates. They're saying if you're building coding agents or using LMs for complex backend logic, they think this is the model for you. So I'm using 5.2 in ChatGPT all the time. Love it. I noticed that it's got some interesting features, which I'm going to talk about. But Dario, are you using 5.2 first of all?
Unless it has become the default model in ChatGPT app, no. What I do find very interesting about that piece of news is that it reminds me a bit of like the return of small context windows. Because again, we have a new model with a context window around 200K tokens. In this case, 250K, but it's not a million.
Right. I find that interesting as well. I think we talk about this a lot at AMP internally, that we really like the smaller context windows because you just get better outputs, but also kind of enforces some discipline around context management, which is actually a good thing. I think. Arvin is asking, are there any plans to update the Oracle to 5.2? What are your thoughts?
Pending internal evaluation. So, so we'll take it for a test run internally, and then if it's better, you get an updated Oracle, and if it's not, then
bada bang, then you don't. I think that's one thing that we really try hard to do at AMP is try everything before we ship it and have you all use it. The idea is you shouldn't have to think about that. But probably we will use 5.2. I know that we upgraded to 5.1 pretty quickly for the Oracle. So
actually, speaking about the Oracle, Ryan, one question for you, like how much do you use the Oracle now that Opus is out?
Actually a lot less. Opus 4.5 is just so good that there actually is some doubt in my mind, if I'm going to ask for the Oracle, if it's going to help much. But what I do love using it for is just another opinion. I think it's kind of helpful to have a different model completely, have a look at what I'm doing. So I do use it almost exclusively for code review now. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, we know that the models are going to get better and better, and the need for a specialized sub agent or tool that uses a different model for intelligence reasons is probably going to be less and less. It will probably be for programmatic reasons or hey, I really do want just another opinion on this. So Arvin is saying with Opus, I don't see myself using Oracle as much. However, with 5.2 with high or extra high thinking has sometimes presented good plans, which might be a good 1-2 punch with Opus. Great call, Arvin. Agree with you on that. So that's the news from OpenAI. I'm thankful that the model houses are battling out. We're getting better and better models, really regularly. I find it interesting that they chose to call it 5.2. It's a fairly small upgrade from 5.1. So it's interesting to see how they're thinking about those release numbers. So, okay, here we go. Next news item. Google launches the quote interactions API end quote and a deep research agent. So on December 11th was a big day. Google quietly revolutionized how developers connect models to the outside world by launching the Interactions API, which is in beta, and the Gemini Deep Research Agent, which is in preview. We think you should care about this because this is a direct answer to the fragmentation in the agent ecosystem. The Interactions API provides a single, unified interface for handling the complex glue between Gemini models, tools, and user operational contexts, effectively standardizing how agents call functions and manage state. Paired with the new deep research agent, which can autonomously plan, execute, and synthesize multi-step research across the web, this release gives developers a primitive for building a research-grade agent in your app without having to hand-roll the orchestration logic. I think this is pretty interesting. I actually checked. I use the AI Gateway for all my inference on Vercel, and they don't actually offer this model yet, which is interesting. Hopefully they will soon. But I'm curious, Dario, what do you think about this kind of glue that they're trying to offer here, and what are your thoughts?
I think it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yeah. The trap is in the state management. So what most clients do is they manage the entire conversation state, because every time you make an inference call, you actually have to send back the entire conversation. And that's a little bit more legwork in the beginning, but it means you're in full control of the conversation. So you can do interesting things like filter out stuff before sending back the entire conversation to preserve context, and you're in full control. Now, what the Interactions API offers you is actually storing that state on the server, so you don't need to deal with the metaphorical hot potato in your hands that is managing the conversation state. But you just post essentially new messages you've received from the user to the backend, and then Google takes care of managing the state, which is very, very convenient. And convenience has a price, as always. So
yeah, it does feel a little bit like a trap. That you're really going to just end up on Vertex using primarily Gemini models or something.
Yeah, that as well. But I think OpenAI also has a similar request response model where they keep the conversation state on the server. The trap is more like you get an interesting idea for what you can do with conversations, and then you realize you can't do it because you don't have the conversations. They're stored in the server that you don't control.
Yeah. Which just seems bonkers to me. Like at its core, if you're building an app with an agent, you really want to be as close to the metal as you can get, I think. And so I use AI SDK a lot because Untangle My App is just built on Vercel. It's using Next.js. It's really easy. But even that sometimes is a level of abstraction that makes me a little nervous. But it's close enough, I think, to the metal that I feel comfortable with that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Deep research now. I think this is pretty fascinating. This is a specific model that's trained for this, and I can absolutely see, using this model for certain very important long running tasks in my app. Do you think we'll end up using it in a coding agent like AMP, or what are your thoughts?
What for? I mean,
maybe planning or something, or I want you to do a bunch of research about this new feature that I'm thinking about building, come back, but it's not super clear.
Yeah, I think that sits on a different layer. That's the thing you kick off when you go on a long walk, because you just got a feature idea. Because like deep research to me is more about getting access to interesting information about the problem domain by actually searching through the web, and especially in your case, digging up old cases and judgments and whatever, and then synthesizing that into some information you can use.
Yep.
But by the time you get back to AMP, you probably have a clear idea already of what you want, and AMP is there to make it happen.
Yep. As long as you go on that long walk and don't get distracted by your phone.
Yeah.
So that's pretty important. Madi makes an interesting point. They said Vertex and Google Console is just unusable. I have around $500 in AI credits, but they remain unused. I'd give my account away if it wasn't my main. I mean, and we're not trying to dunk on Vertex or any of this stuff, but I mean, I think both AWS and Vertex, are complex and pretty gnarly, but at the same time, it is what it is. I'm just such a big Vercel fanboy that I just can't stop. I'm not on their payroll. I'm not being paid to say any of that. So there you go. It's interesting. Talaz is saying, I don't like the output format of deep research. It's always too long. They want deep research, but they don't really want deep research. So I kind of agree. I actually asked for deep research on some of these news items, and I got like the full paper, and I was like, whoa, yeah, this is way too much. So we'll see. All right. So everybody, that was the news we definitely verified, which we did verify. Just so you know, it was OpenAI releasing GPT 5.2 and Google launching their interactions API and the deep research agent. So let us know in the comments if you're using either of these or interested in either of these. I'd be interested to hear from the crowd and see what you all think. I like Ari says, I think we're after deep insight versus deep research, which is fair. So, all right, folks, that was the news we definitely verified. Next up, it's time for some live coding with Code the Impossible. Will it work? Probably not. Let's find out live with Dario.
Yeah, I think that probably not is going to play a very important role today.
Let's find out.
Yeah. Is my screen up?
Here we go.
All right. So opening words. I have been Java pilled, basically. Because everything that used to be bad about Java is not so bad anymore. And apparently verbosity is great for the agent. So I am playing around with a lot of Java stuff right now. And today I wanted to play around with like 3D stuff.
Ooh.
So I got this like little floating orb that I have no clue about how it works because I'm new to 3D programming.
It's pretty cool.
I asked AMP for a nebulous, mysterious orb displaying a message from latent space.
Cool. I like it.
But yeah, it looks more like I don't like the animation. Basically, it looks very childish. So
it's kind of cute. And so this is a native app running.
This is a native app using it's using Java that hooks into like native stuff, but it's a desktop app. It's not running on the web.
Cool.
That's why I can have a transparent window overlaying stuff here, which is kind of cool.
I love it. All right. So what's the feature you want to add to the little cloud with a interesting message?
Yeah, I think I would like to smooth out the animation a bit so that sorry, that was a wrong start. Let me start again. Yeah, I'd like to smooth out the animation because it's too janky. So let's try that. I feel like it should be more like something that appears from the depth of the orb, like a viscous liquid.
It emerges.
So just going to pass this in here. That's it. It's all code is in one file. So I'm not happy with the animation of the message from latent space. It needs to look more like a viscous liquid bubbling up from the deep. So what I like about visual stuff like this is a lot of the code you'll generate is going to be throwaway code because it needs to pass the vibe check. So
like it.
So I have no concerns about code quality at this point.
But it probably will write pretty good code. So AMP tip: how are you getting new lines in your prompt?
There's a bunch of ways. So you can press Control J. It gives you a new line.
Cool.
You can also press Control G, which just pops up your editor.
Oh, cool. So Control J is the hack. I like it. All right, so it's cranking away. Still just adding the there's just one file.
Yeah, and I have, as I said, I haven't looked at the code yet, because I wouldn't understand it anyway, because it's 3D stuff. So
yeah, how do you rate sort of the elegance of Java? How much do you like?
Like modern Java is pretty great actually. Like you get a lot of the good things in Haskell and Rust, like pattern matching and records and stuff like that, and algebraic data types, while also having like runtime dynamism, so you can like reload stuff at runtime, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Once you ship this, Maddie is asking for features. Make it clickable. Each click will make a macOS notification that says subscribe. maybe.
Oh, let's see this. How do you rate the animation? Is it?
Oh, yeah, it does feel like it's sort of, coming from the deep. It's a little.
Oh, you know what's cool? Let's make it so that the word, like all of the words, come one by one.
Ooh, I like it.
I think it would make it a bit nicer. And this is what I mean by the code's not important, because probably AMP's going to throw like half of the work away now.
Yeah, just crank it out. Goku is giving us feature ideas as well. Add neutron star in that cloud with smooth animation. This is the thing now with agents. People can be pretty demanding with their features. So, all right, all right. So you ask each word to bubble up.
Yeah. So let's see how that's coming along. I actually ended up writing my own Java toolchain in the meantime.
Why am I not surprised?
Because I hate working in IDEs. And that's one of the things that put me off Java for the longest time. So now I have something that's a bit like Bun in terms of ergonomics.
Cool.
For quickly bootstrapping projects and compiling and packaging and stuff like that. So
cool.
So sometimes you see this in here, where this project was bootstrapped with Sai, which is Estonian for bun.
Oh, I was wondering.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, so that makes it like really convenient, and that way Java is okay for me and the agent.
Nice. I love it. Yeah. So because we don't need to see the terminal as much, do you want to make AMP a little bit wider so we don't get so many?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I like having this orb around. Like it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It would be really cool.
So we're using Opus 4.5 here. And
oh, we're ready.
Oh, it's almost done. Okay. Done.
Okay, let's try.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh.
Here, can you pop it over the black part of the screen so we can see it?
Yeah, let me make more space. The warnings are very annoying. Here we go.
Ooh,
but it dropped it. It dropped the E at the end of message.
Space. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I think this is a pretty good feature because you're so fast, or AMP is so fast, should we say? Why don't we pick one of these features coming in from the crowd? Either add a neutron star in the cloud with smooth animation, or make it clickable and make it a macOS notification.
Let's try the neutron star. That sounds pretty cool. So
I'm not totally sure what a neutron star would look
neither am I, but we're going to find out here soon.
Here we go. I think it's fascinating when you don't specify a lot when you're working on more of a fun side project.
Yeah.
And letting the agent decide a lot. Like I'm building out a simple tool for us at AMP so we can see what kind of engagement we get on X and measure things better. And I didn't specify the UI at all. So it was kind of interesting to see.
That was a very fast neutron star.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, it's done?
Who's excited about the neutron star? The neutron star doesn't compile. So I'm not going to copy paste this. I'm just going to to use shell mode in AMP so that AMP sees the output directly.
Oh, that's interesting idea. Yeah, just to get it really quickly.
Yeah.
So we've got some comments from the crowd while you're doing that. Jeffrey asked, is this show recorded and made available as a podcast? Yes. We're technically working on the piping of that to make it happen. But yes, absolutely recorded. It's on YouTube as well. So, oh, look at this.
Whoa.
Oh.
Now we know what a neutron star looks like.
Okay, that's pretty amazing. Our production team is already on it, and they already answered, yes, full episodes will be available on YouTube. Cool. Jeffrey, thanks for talking about that. Wow, a neutron star is definitely cooler.
Yeah, but I find it's a bit too...
It's a bit too much.
Like, whoever asked for the neutron star, is that how it's supposed to look like?
Aries says, "For neat." It's pretty cool. I mean, wow, what a time to be alive.
Yes, like this would have taken more than the 2 minutes we spent on it now.
Way longer, I think.
Yeah.
So let's see. All right, beam 1 plus beam 2 times pulse. We're seeing some of the math here of
okay,
and how they work. A little slower.
Let's see. Oh, much better.
Nice. Wow. Okay. It's getting pretty cool.
Yeah, all right. I like that.
All right. So I think we should call it. I think Code the Impossible was not so impossible. I feel like that was pretty easy. Actually, let's just take 1 minute. You are such an AMP power user. You showed us how to insert new lines into prompt Control J, which is cool. Any other kind of things you do all the time inside of AMP that might be useful for people?
I do this thing where I use tmarks a lot. No.
Do you?
I start a new thread, and then you see here, press enter to reference the previous thread. Super useful. Has basically replaced handoff for me.
Interesting. Okay, so tell people what's happening here. When would you use that?
Yeah, so handoff. This is like default continue working on things. Cool. Basically, so for example, now I can say I want the neutron star beams to also rotate in, like you see that they're just rotating around the star.
Yep.
But I also want them to rotate into my face.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like
it. So now what's going to happen is, since we're mentioning a thread, AMP's going to use the read thread tool to extract specific information. Like it's looking at this thread from a specific perspective. Super cool. So you can see it's figuring out how the beams are rendered and rotated, and then it extracts relevant information and uses that to continue. Yep. So
tell everybody how the read tool works. What's happening under the hood there.
Yeah, it actually makes a request to ampcode.com to fetch the thread in its markdown version. And it's not feeding the raw thread into the current session because you don't know what's at the other end of the URL if you use like a public thread or something.
Yeah.
But we pass it through an LLM to actually condense it into the information we're interested in, which also gives us an extra layer of defense against prompt injections. So
cool. Nice.
Coolio. So let's see, does that work?
Sorta. Pulse a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not in your face. So we'll have to work on that. Okay, cool. All right. This is a good session of Code the Impossible. I appreciate you being game for coding live. It's always it could be stressful, but you make it not stressful. And Raphael's asking if the secret word was said yet. I can't tell you that. See, that's the whole point, is that you have to listen to the whole show and see. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Yeah. Aries the Coder has a question about mentioning the threads, which I think you answered, but it'd be good to be specific. He said, does that flood the new threads context, or does it treat it more like how RAG calls handled?
It's more like RAG in that sense. So we basically summarize the thread you're referencing, and then put the summary into the main agent's context.
Cool. How many tokens does it typically come back with, do you think? Whoa.
I mean, we're at 18% context, and the previous thread was at like 35 before we ended it.
Yeah.
So
Half-ish.
not that much. I mean, this is the summary that goes in there. So probably.
Oh, got it. Because you can see it
Yeah.
by. Did you
Yeah.
press Control R to see
Yeah.
that?
No, it's just displayed by default, and you can like scroll through it. So.
Oh, cool. I haven't seen that
Yeah.
recently. Neat. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody, you got some, in addition to coding the impossible, you got some behind the scenes tips for how to use AMP even better. So appreciate that. Meanwhile, we've got people still demanding new features. Goku says it's rotating too fast. Make it slower and add energy waves flowing from the star all around inside the cloud. You can't help yourself. You're gonna do it here. Swader Mask says Control G is really helpful. Is there a list of all these commands somewhere?
In help. There's a help command in the command palette.
Cool. So everybody use the command palette. Super useful. I trigger it with / but I don't remember the actual command to trigger the command palette.
I think it's Control O.
Yeah, I just use / because we've mapped that.
It's // not /.
I mean, sorry, forward. Yeah. What am I talking about? Gosh, not / people, /. It's like, it's just my finger does it, right? So, and then you use the command palette and you find help to show all those keyboard shortcuts. Okay.
Final iteration of the work. Ooh, wow.
Holy cow. Good job, Goku. That was a good feature request. So,
yeah.
Okay. Let's keep cranking. Thanks, Dario. You are an absolute star. Next up, we've got a little duel that we're going to do with some prompts. So let's get to it. Duel at Dawn, a contest of prompts and questionable judgment. All right, everybody. So our goal here is to show you live what happens when you use two different prompts on the same exact task. How does a model react? What's better? What's not? And a little tip here, or a little hint, we're going to be using skills. So let's pull up my screen and we'll get going with a exciting, let me shift to here so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So we've got two basically identical tasks here. So I've got AMP running on the left and AMP running on the right. I love doing this. Yeah. And what I want to do is some marketing work, right? So I want to look at my homepage copy and analyze it and try to improve it. So on the left, the prompt is give me feedback on the homepage copy. And on the right, I've got use your direct response copy skill to optimize the homepage copy, right? This is a skill I just purchased yesterday from the Boring Marketer. Side note, it's kind of interesting how we're starting to see skills and marketplaces pop up. So I thought, $200 for this group.
Wait, you bought the skill? Really?
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Wow, that's wild.
I know. I think this is going to happen, right? People are going to develop really good skills. And in my mind, I was thinking $200, absolutely, it's worth it. If it ends up saving me some time. So this is a skill I purchased yesterday. So let's fire these both off. This is on my Untangle repo, which is the app that I'm building. My keyboard disconnected because I haven't been using it. Bear with me. Here we go. And here we go. Okay. Oh, look at that. I foiled again. So AMP actually figured out that it could use the direct response copy, which is kind of funny on the left, on the right. So let's see what happens now. What's kind of interesting about that is, I guess, make sure you've got skills, right? Because then your agent is probably going to start using them. So let's see what it's saying here. All right, based on my review of your homepage copy through the lens of direct response principles, here's my feedback. What's working well? Strong price anchoring, solid social proof, pain quantification, what needs work. Hero headline is feature focused. Subhead is weak. This is making me feel bad. CTH generic. So it's got some extra things it's figuring out there. And here it's actually applying the changes, which I don't want. However, interesting to see. So that didn't work the way I wanted. So I'm going to have to think of a of a different way to try to not trigger a skill or trigger a skill. But while we're talking about that, I think it points out the power of skills. And I think we could actually kind of dive in a little bit to skills in general. And Dario, I'd like to hear your opinion on that. While you do that, I'm going to show everybody kind of what's happening behind the scenes. AMP supports skills now as a first class citizen. This is the file that it's pulling. And then it's saying that it has access to these different scripts as well inside there. So this is kind of what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, so skills, I was actually not getting it in the beginning. I thought, like, what's the big deal with skills? All right, Claude is shipping some Python scripts around. So great. And
Right.
yeah, so until I actually used skills.
Tell me more.
Basically, I first started using skills when I got tired of watching the agent misuse tmux. So in the beginning, I made a tool for it, but then I realized the tool is not quite flexible enough because it's always like what I want from the agent interacting with tmux is always a little bit different. So I ended up creating a tmux skill for it, which is essentially just lazily loaded instructions. So if you stuff everything into your agents MD, you have the same problem as usual. You waste so much context. You don't need all of it all of the time. And skills basically are an escape hatch. So the agent is aware that it can find more information about, say, tmux or how to work with your database, and then lazily loads it during operation. And in this way, basically automatically manages the context for you. And that started to become really useful. So with the tmux skill, it's making your mistakes in actually operating the sessions and testing apps in the terminal. And I found that to be really useful.
Yep.
I also experimented a bit with replacing subagents with a dedicated skill to like spawn a servant, which just starts AMP in another tmux window and sends it input.
Yep.
Has the benefit of me being able to like interactively continue the conversation, but it's really difficult to shuttle information back to the main agent. So
yeah,
I only use it for these like one-off exploration kind of things. And yeah, now I'm a believer. An interesting thing, which is easy to miss. The Anthropic API executes the Python scripts that are attached to skills in their backend.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's not meant for local execution. I mean, you can execute them locally, but the idea behind those is that they run in managed sandboxes.
Oh, interesting.
Their backend, so the same skill will work no matter whether you use it on your phone or in the Claude desktop app. Or it's like, I feel like it's targeted at non-coding use cases mostly, at least the way it was marketed originally. Because if you look at the skills that came out in the beginning, they were all about like creating presentations and slide decks and whatever. And it's like
editing Excel files. And
yeah. So for those use cases, this remote execution makes a lot of sense. But for coding use cases, just the fact that context is lazily loaded is already super useful. But I see you have a very long list of skills. So maybe you want to talk about that.
Yeah. So what I did, everybody, and I'll just show you this again, is you go into shell mode if you want, or you can just use the command palette and go to skills list, which shows in there. But let's just go into shell mode and say amp skills list. Then that basically tells AMP, hey, list the skills you've got. So I've got quite a few. Now, again, I just purchased a set of these yesterday, and I'm trying to figure out which of these I'm going to use. I'll probably, delete some of them or most of them, but I'll keep a few. And again, these came from a friend. I'm not promoting or not promoting these things. I'm just trying them out. You've got brand voice, which basically figures out how to have a consistent brand voice in your app. Positioning angles, these are all marketing tasks. Keyword research, SEO content, etc. Then let's go down to these are some of the skills that Claude / Anthropic has released. Front end design, which is specifically for designing UI. Also, their DocX skill, which works really well with Word docs, which I never use, thankfully. I should delete that. And then there's also a PDF one, which I use all the time, which is great just to really like play with PDFs, fill them out, do all sorts of PDF operations. So, but the nice thing about this again is because it's lazy loaded, I don't have to worry about all this being MCP context pollution. The AMP figures out, I need to call it, then activates the tool, and then it's used. So I think it's a pretty cool thing. All right. So Aries says, so skills, does that replace MCPs like ref and context 7? What do you think?
It can. The question is whether you want to, like, where do you want to maintain your context?
Yeah.
So the interesting bit is going to be how skills are going to interact with tools. So the thing that makes tools special is that tools are like precise deterministic instructions for how to carry out certain operations. And skills, even if you give instructions in there, it's still interpreted by the model and it's hit or miss. So sorry, I got distracted by a message in the chat about the lookat tool. So
because that's your baby. You're like, wait, what? Okay.
Yeah. So So basically, the intersection of tools and agent instructions is going to be really interesting, because often, like, imagine a skill for using the browser would be cool if that could load the Chrome DevTools at runtime. Like when the skill is loaded, you also load the tools into the context window of the model. So that's definitely something I would like to see at some point, or what I expect to see as the next evolutionary step.
Cool. So I've got some PDFs, which I don't know report violation pages, but I should probably look into that. I was trying out the lookat tool. So because people are wondering, how does lookat compare to Anthropic's PDF tool or skill? What are your thoughts there?
As far as I'm aware, Anthropic's PDF tool takes the PDF apart, puts it into, like, converts every page into an image, and then sends the image off to a model, which is like super expensive and takes a long time. But sometimes that's what you need.
Yep.
Like if I were to, I don't know, like review the layout of a book that I've typeset, and I actually need to look at every page individually, then that's something I would have considered. But lookat is more for like, there's information living in a PDF somewhere, and like extract it for me. Like It's more like fishing for information.
It's a much more context efficient way to look at screen grabs as well, because as soon as you drag a screen grab into the input of AMP, it's gonna it's a lot of tokens, and you can fill up Opus pretty fast. So look, I tend to use CleanShot, make sure everything's going to my downloads folder, and then just tell AMP to use lookat in my downloads folder.
Yeah, nice.
More context efficient. So interesting. So Thales Henrique Bourget says, I believe skills can definitely replace MCPs. MCP servers can create CLI tools, then release a skill explaining how to use them via NPX. Interesting take. I really don't use many MCPs. Like Playwright is my only one. And it's still very slow and very context heavy because of all the screen grabs. So I'm excited for the future of that feedback loop. So do you have
Chrome DevTools is much better, actually.
I know. So I switched to it, but then had some weird problems. So I switched back to Playwright. So I might switch back again. Do you how many MCPs do you use?
Chrome DevTools. That's it. I mean, MCP is just a distribution mechanism. That's convenient. Like, I just don't want to recode the parts of Chrome DevTools that I need in every project where I need it. So it's nice that it's packaged in a way that I can plug it into the agent whenever I need to. Boom. But most of the stuff is CLI tools with a bit of instructions.
I know, man. I never thought I would have like such affection for CLI tools, but it's so amazing, telling AMP, hey, you've got a CLI tool, like go use it, and to see how much more efficient and powerful that is. It's just mind blowing. My favorite CLI tool right now is workflows. So Vercel open source this project called workflows, and basically it's a way to programmatically, deterministically add steps and control flows, to anything, and it creates these durable functions that you can call. They restart. You can call them weeks later if you want. It's really, really cool. Obviously, it works perfectly in Vercel. It works on other platforms. However, it has a CLI, and the CLI tool, it's just so powerful because you can just say, hey, look at the workflow run, and it grabs it, looks at it, tells you what's happening. It's just so the feedback loop is very, very fast. So I like it. All right. This makes me think of, how much I like CLI tools, how much I love waffles. I like waffles a lot. And in fact, I had a waffle twice over the weekend. So that was pretty fun. You said you don't like waffles.
I said sometimes.
Oh, yeah, but they're unhealthy. So I appreciate it. All right. We are going to keep cranking on the show. We've done a lot of stuff already. So talked a little about Build Crew. Don't forget to join it. Just go to buildcrew.team. We talked about something secret that was happening on the show. We did Code the Impossible, where Dario coded a secret orb thing that turned into a nebula. Or was it a proton star?
A neutron star was later added, and we learned what a neutron star looks like.
So did that. Talked about the news about GPT 5.2 and Deep Research Agent and what they're doing, what Google is doing with Interactions API. We did a little duel between prompts, which kind of failed because AMP was good and it realized it could just call this new skill. So I'll have to think of a better prompt duel next time. And we've got one final section where we are going to probably find a show which is approved by the Office of Premature Feature Oversight. And Dario is going to show us a little feature.
Yeah, it's an experimental tool.
Ooh.
Yes. So, Ryan, tell me when you can see.
I can. Fortune.
Yes, another orb. Today's orb day.
And you have an orb up in your attic.
Yes. Well, it's not the attic, but it's where we sleep. Anyhow, and this is a website powered by a tiny Node.js server.
Ooh.
And personally, I am terrible at using the Node debugger.
Okay.
And there's cool stuff you can do with the debugger. So what we can do here is we can press the button and we get like a random message. I think there's like 3 messages in here at the moment. But what we can do now with the experimental tool is I taught AMP how to use a debugger.
Ooh.
So when we tell it to, so many prompts in the meantime.
How are you going back in your history?
Control P actually. So, and I feel like this should be filtered to the current current directory or something that I use it. But in any case, on the left we see the logs of the server, and it says like attach a debugger and to redefine stuff. And on the right, we have AMP running. And I'm going to tell AMP to connect to the running process and redefine the request handler so that we're going to get a new message.
Cool. So the REPL tool is not released yet. We're trying it internally.
Yeah, so it takes care of a lot of the like back and forth debugging or using the database or anything. So again, it starts with an objective, like here's what we want to achieve. And
it's working on it.
It worked before the demo. Okay, here we go. So now, okay, too many processes running. Let me restart this.
Here we go. Too much going on.
Yeah, let's try this again. I mean, it's the thing with network stuff.
And is this a feature you're working on, or someone else on the team?
I'm working on it. So
cool.
I think at this point it's more about actually using it more. Okay, now we can see debugger attached. So now we're attached to a running process. And you can see it's sending commands to node inspect, and it's inspecting actually just overrode the function directly. So now we should see, hello audience, welcome to the REPL demo. Oh no.
Coding live.
I see nothing. Yeah.
This is what the real world is like. It's like, oh wait,
yeah.
that didn't work.
Right. Hey, we have a debugger connected, so this should be easy to figure out.
Yeah, let's figure it out.
So I see nothing now.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
so
it happens, but it's going to connect again, and it's going to like open throughout the process again until it works. I hope. So while it's doing that, we can actually just check it already here.
Okay. It's not playing ball. This worked literally right before this. So
yeah.
I know you're gonna work on it.
What a shame. Yeah.
Engineer Wannabe also points out Bun also has a nice debugger, which is interesting.
Yeah, and the REPL tool works with anything that has like a text-based interface in that sense. So let me see. Hey, here we go.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And then now if I say make the message more mysterious.
Ooh.
You can see the process never stopped. Like the server was running
Yep.
the entire time. So if you're feeling particularly adventurous, you can write your code such that you can redefine functions on the fly.
Wow, cool.
Deploy to production and then
see what happens.
Develop through the debugger. Here we go. The shadows whisper your name. Welcome, traveler.
Nice.
Definitely more mysterious.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit technically how it's working. Is it? I'd like to know. And then after that, tell us like how you think people use this most in their real work.
Yeah. So technically, how it's working is we start a sub process. In this case, node inspect.
Okay.
And then we tell the model everything you write will be typed literally into that sub process. You're talking to node inspect, for example.
Okay.
And then everything that the sub process outputs goes back to the model. It's like, hey, look, this is what you saw on the screen.
Okay.
And then we just keep going. And when the model is done, it has a special tool. It has a stop tool available. And it calls that tool to tell the main agent that we're done with the REPL session.
Okay.
And to communicate some information back to the main agent.
Wow, cool. That's super cool. So tell us like how you think people use it.
Here you can see the messages it used to report.
Oh, neat.
Back to the main agent, successfully redefined with the mysterious message. And yeah, so how do people use this? One is literally debugging, but the other is also using any kind of tool that has an interactive interface, like interactively exploring your database. So for example, I have my local AMP development database running here, use the REPL tool with pSQL AMP to find the newest thread belonging to my source graph email.
Cool.
So if I don't have access, like in this location, I don't have access to the source code of the AMP repo.
Right.
So now it's just doing what a human would do. Wow. And using all of these like descriptive commands, like, oh, tell me about this part of the schema and about that part of the schema. And it finds my user ID, and then it's going to use that to find the thread, and then you can see that it reported this key information like thread ID, title, created, updated, back to
that is so cool.
The main agent. And that I feel like is the missing piece for a lot of the tools that were developed for interactive use. So one of the things I really want to do is like connect this to a Rails console, because like Rails and Ruby are all built around interactive exploration of the code
yep.
while the program is running. So maybe that's what comes after types. Because why
so.
rely on types if you can just try out the code and make sure it works?
Gosh, that makes total sense. I don't have this feature turned on. I want to try it, and then hopefully, y'all, it's awesome, and we can release it to you all. So
Yeah, would be
that
cool.
was probably fine to show. It's a new feature that Dario's working on. Really excited that hopefully that gets shipped. That is the show, y'all. Hopefully you caught the secret word. We'll be picking the winner tomorrow in Discord. So make sure to join Build Crew and hop in the Discord, because that's probably where I'll be announcing it. I'll be crediting the account with the $500 of AMP credit. So stay tuned for that. It is the holidays, y'all. So we have 2 weeks off. So we will see you in January for the next show. So we won't be broadcasting for the next 2 weeks after this. Thanks for dealing with us on the date switch. We have a very exciting interview with DHH, or David Hennemeyer Hansen, tomorrow. And that's the only time we could do it. So that is the show, y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed various bits of news, live coding, things going wrong, using the agents, learning new features. Dario, thanks for hanging out with us and turning on your orb lamp. Ari says, later, guys, love the show. And Goku says, show is actually good, to be honest. So I guess.
Engineer wannabe, can you send me an email?
Ooh.
And I'll tell you how to enable the REPL tool.
Yeah, I love it. And definitely, and also shout in the Discord, and I'm sure we can probably help you out. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to our amazing production crew behind the scenes for making things great. Thanks mostly to everyone who's watching. We appreciate you. You're the reason we do this show. Have fun out there coding. Hopefully over the holidays, you get a lot shipped. I know I will. And that is it for Craft and Chaos. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time. Take care.